So, welcome back again and another video. The next chapter is the basement. First of all, thank you so much, those who are listening to my story and giving me your support. Thank you so much. And I'm trying my level best to share my story to you, and I will share it in Hindi also once I'll complete the narration in English. So, the next chapter is the basement. I am your host and your narrator, Kritika. I decided to leave the temple. As I was walking down the stairs, I accidentally dropped my phone. When I bent down to pick it up, the photo, the one with the pale boy next to me, vanished. I quickly checked my phone gallery, scrolling through every folder, but it was gone, completely erased. Shaken, I got into my car and drove home. The moment I arrived, I rushed to my laptop and turned it on. My hands were still trembling as soon as I loaded. I saw a string of emails, all from Russian Aboob. Each one had the same message arriving one after another, as if someone were typing them live. Go to the basement, go to the basement, go to the basement. The messages kept pinging, flooded my inbox one by one. When I saw that my parents had gone to work, I headed downstairs to the basement. It was clean with dimly lit. I turned on my phone's flashlight to guide my way. As I looked and took each step, I noticed something scattered across the floor. Photos, photos of my first love. They were everywhere. Pictures of the day we first met, the days we spent together, moments of laughter, joy, comfort, memories I had long forgotten came rushing back. Every image hit me like a wave. I felt overwhelmed and tears filled my eyes. I wish this hadn't happened. I did not want to lose, I whispered. And then I saw him. Yes, he was standing there. He was standing in the corner of the basement, wearing his familiar track pants. My heart skipped. I tried to run towards him, but he vanished. A moment later, I saw him again, this time sitting on the old couch. I walked slowly towards him and sat down beside him. I want to talk to you. I have so much to say, I said, barely able to hold back my emotions. He sat silently and just listening. For me, he had always been the most important part of my life. Tears streamed down my face as I told him how much he meant to me. He smiled softly, took my hand in his, and looked into my eyes. Suddenly, I heard a voice, my mother's voice, shouting, crying. I felt her pushing me away from him. No, Mom, please don't let me go. Please don't let him go, I screamed. Then I felt a sharp pain shoot through my arm. I looked down, my arm was bleeding, deeply cut. My mother was crying beside me, everything was spinning. The only thing I remember after that, I was being rushed to the hospital. Blood was everywhere, soaking the car seat. My vision blurred, and I stared to look consciousness. That last thing I heard was my mother's voice, screaming desperately. And then silence. I still remember the light came from the clouds. As night fell, I came to my senses and saw that I was lying on a hospital bed. On my right hand, I noticed a cannula attached to a glucose strip. The white pillow and white bedsheet made me think I was already dead. I was staring at the window, my eyes searching for my parents. What happened to me? Why am I here? I kept thinking. Thoughts came and went. My eyes remained fixed on the window, but then I saw only darkness, extreme darkness. I looked up at the ceiling and saw a shadow on my bed. It was a woman with a frightening face. She pulled at her hair and scratched her eyes. Drops of blood were dripping onto my face. I screamed as loudly as I could, just to hear my own voice. The hospital staff rushed into the room to calm me down. One of the doctors held my hand while another gave me an injection. I heard them saying that I had a panic attack, but honestly, it was not that. A few minutes later, I fell asleep. I woke up around 2 a.m. and noticed an elderly man leaving his room. I recognized him as a patient who had been on a ventilator. How was he up and walking? Just yesterday, when I had briefly regained consciousness, I saw him lying there, hooked up to a ventilator. How could he moving now? I followed him and asked, "Are you okay?" He turned his face slowly. His eyes were pale yellow. He stared at me for a moment and then whispered, Be careful. They are following you. Suddenly, I heard a shouting from behind and rushed back to my room. Everyone was gathered around the bed next to mine, his bed. The nurses told me to sit on my bed. I could not take my eyes off the scene. I saw the same man who had been with me moments ago, but this time he was lying lifeless. That's when I understood. It was a message. He had passed away at the very moment. As the staff turned away, I saw him tilt his head slightly and stare directly at me. When no one else was watching, terrified, I lay down and shut my eyes tightly, hoping no one or nothing could see me. The next day, I was released and returned home. Whatever was happening to me, it felt like someone somewhere was telling me to reveal the truth. But how? How is that even possible? I have no clue where to start. Only dreams, and dreams aren't real, right? But still, whatever happened in the hospital, how I saw my love, the cut on my hands, all of it was telling me I was in a danger. Eventually, I got the time to go to the basement. When I was going down the stairs, I wasn't worried or afraid of anything. Our basement light was connected to an old rope. My grandma had arranged it that way. She was short and couldn't reach that switch, so she had an electrician fix a rope to the light. With just a pull, the whole basement would light up. I remember climbing up on the stool to reach the plug uh, when I was too small or too little. I went deeper into the basement, all the pages from my love. They were gone. I figured maybe I was hallucinating. I have been under a lot of stress lately. Maybe that's the reason. After walking a few more steps, I found a diary, a brown leather one, almost completely burned. It looked like someone had tried to destroy it on purpose. But whose diary was it? I kept wondering. I held the book in my hand and brushed off the dust with my sleeves. The name on the diary was still not visible. It was too old, dusty, and burned. Then I noticed the dust on the floor was moving. When I looked straight ahead, so many people in an old costume appeared in front of me. Their fingers were pointing at me, and they were walking closer and closer. They were all shouting, "Burn, burn, burn, burn." Suddenly, a man came from behind, holding a can of kerosene. He started pouring it on me. I sat down, screaming, "Don't do that! What have I done?" But they emptied the can on me. One of the men came with matchsticks. His eyes were red. He lit a match and threw it on me. I saw fire everywhere. I touched my arms, trying to stop it, but the fire didn't touch me. When I turned around, I saw the fire burning four other people. They were yelling, crying, screaming, "It's not our fault! It's not our fault!" One of the boys was still burning, ran towards me and shouted, "It's his fault! It's his fault!" I ran out of the basement, panicking, shivering all over, and headed straight to my room. My mom saw me and followed me in. She immediately noticed something was wrong. She asked, "What happened to you? Why are you behaving like that?" I was about
So
to tell
guys,
her
I'll
about
continue
the
this story in
people
the
in the
next
house and
video.
how they were
So keep watching,
connected to the
and
Naboob,
if
but
you
I
haven't watched
decided
the
not
previous
to.
video or haven't
Instead,
listened
I
the
held
previous
the
audio
burnt
stories
bottle
of
of
the
the
diary,
diary
listen to the
tightly in my
story one
hand
by one. They all
and
are
thought
interrelated to
about
each other,
opening it.
and I
But
know
before that,
this
I
is an
wanted to
amazing
make
story
sure my
which I
mom
have
believed
written.
everything
And
was
please, I
normal.
need your response.
So
I
I
need your
told her nothing
feedback in
happened.
the comment
I
section.
just
Please
came
do
back
it
from the
and
hospital
purchase
and
it from
feeling
the
weak.
Notion Press. I am just giving the link in the description box. Thank you so much for listening and keep listening.